Hey everybody, welcome back to Relation Shots for our weekly Q&A where we answer 7 of your relationship questions. I didn't even mention time that time. See, I'm getting better. So,
I was waiting to see what you were going to say.
Go.
Okay. Is it possible to marry the wrong person?
Is it? That's a weird question. Is it
I'm
possible
starting
to
out easy.
marry the wrong person? Part of me wants to go yeah, and then part of me wants to go no. So here's why I'm saying that.
I understand why you're saying it.
My no is I don't think we have a soulmate and there's this one person and all that crap I don't believe in. Marriages work no matter who you choose. So that would be why I would say no. Then why I would say yes is, yeah, you need to marry somebody that you share most of your core values with. You need to marry somebody that you're going in the same direction. You need to marry somebody that you enjoy spending time with, that you have a friendship with. So there's a lot of, the reason I would say yes is there's a lot of important things to look at when deciding who you're going to spend the rest of your life with. The reason I say no is because, there's not this soulmate. Oh, I think I married the wrong person. You just chose poorly because you didn't know what you were looking for. So I would say when you're dating somebody that seems to have potential, that's when you want to go do some premarital counseling with somebody who will help you think of and talk about all the things you didn't think to talk about.
Good answer.
Right out of the chute.
I know. I thought I'd start out easy. So I'm in a long distance relationship, but I don't want our marriage to suffer. So how do we continue dating from different locations? I was like, what? They're in a long distance? I thought they were two separate things. So
they're long distance, but they're married.
They're married, yeah.
But then they're talking about how can we keep dating as a married couple.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
That was confusing.
I was
like long distance dating, but we're married, but we're dating. I'm like,
I
is
thought
this
there was
the same
two different
person?
people.
I'm married, but in a
long distance
dating affair with somebody.
That's possible.
Gotcha. No, that's good. So they want to know what things can they do to keep dating, how to be creative.
From different locations.
I'm sure you could get a lot better answer than what I'm about to give you by Googling dating ideas when you're not together or something. Somebody's going to have blogs or something on that. So go get a bunch of ideas. But I think part of it is coming up with what are some fun ideas. Like the first thing that came to my mind with Zoom is do a Zoom dinner date where you both get dressed up. You order either the same food, put candles or whatever you like for a nice dinner, but you're kind of doing it over Zoom and it feels like we're doing it together. Or just try to figure out what are some things you can do virtually like that would still feel like a date. But again, I don't have 57 ideas in my head, so go Google it. You'll come up. But I love that what you're doing is being intentional with. We're going to set time aside to still date each other and connect, even though we're not together.
That's good.
That's good.
Yeah. I met my husband 11 years ago. We no longer have anything in common as we have evolved into different people. How do I fall in love with who they are now?
I feel like we had a similar one.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think you have to kind of do a reset on the relationship. Part of what we love in the dating process is discovery, learning about them, and all that kind of stuff. What do we have in common? So you guys, if you have nothing in common, you're going to have to start figuring out some things maybe you didn't know you had in common. And if there's nothing you have in common, then you better start developing some new hobbies that you can start together that will now give you something to do. So go try everything, cooking classes, dancing classes, travel, try everything you can think of to find some things that you enjoy doing together. And then that will help kind of rekindle the connection.
Yeah, and I think it's just normal. I mean, you're different. Like, we got married when we were young, so we're totally different than we were.
Still like youngish.
I'm old, but he's young apparently. Yes. But I think that, people change, and I think a lot of people just are like, well, we're so different. Well, yeah, everyone's different. You grow up, you change, you're different. Like, I used to be totally different than I am. Sorry.
What does that mean?
You drew the short straw. I tricked him.
But we find things to do that we enjoy doing together.
Yeah.
So now it's going out to eat without our dirty kids. That's awesome. By dirty, I just mean, that's just a saying I say all the time.
Yeah, that's not nice to say. That sounds bad.
Annoying kids. Anyway, we'll just carry on.
Okay.
Leave me alone.
Yeah. Whatever. What does it mean to leave and cleave?
Oh, that's a really long answer, but it's also a really short answer. The simple idea comes out of Genesis 2:24, I think.
Just
See,
say
if
it,
I knew
nobody
these
will
questions ahead of time, no, they're going to look and fact check me. I think it's 224 where it says, for this reason, a man will leave his mother and father and either cleave or be united to or joined to his wife, and the two become one flesh, and the two were naked and not ashamed, kind of thing. So the idea is simply that there's a changing of primary roles. So where you used to be son or daughter, brother, sister, aunt, uncle, whatever it is, your primary role now is husband or wife. So you're leaving the home that was your support, and now you're cleaving to your spouse. So this is the new relationship. So I read this in a book years ago, and I forgot the name of the book, but the idea of there's a severance, that's leaving, then there's a permanence, that's cleaving. Then this is good memory. I haven't studied this in forever. There's a couple. Then there's the uniting or unity of them becoming one flesh, and then naked and unashamed is the intimacy. So there's 4 aspects of it. There's a severance. There's the permanence of the relationship. There's the unity, the two becoming one flesh, and then there's intimacy where they can be fully them, vulnerable.
Was
naked.
it called Naked and what?
Naked and not ashamed.
Oh.
Yeah.
All I can think of was Naked and Afraid. So I was like, you lost me. I wasn't listening to anything else.
I lost her at naked is really where
true.
I lost her.
It's totally true.
But that's the idea, that your marriage is primary over all other roles in your life, and the two of you have to unify on that.
That's good.
Yeah. It's a good video topic at some point.
There you go. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Oh. Our marriage...
It's our cat.
Yeah,
Seriously,
sorry.
just came in and started.
I was going to try and
busting.
pretend like nothing happened.
Just keep
but...
going. Let's
Okay.
go with the cat in here.
Okay, our marriage is being put to the test because we are struggling with infertility. Do you have any advice on how to keep our relationship strong in the face of such a difficult challenge?
Wow, why don't you answer that one?
Gosh.
Because we did all that stuff. We
Yeah.
went through, we have 3 girls through adoption. Prior to that, we did artificial insemination. We did the whole in vitro process. So, and it did make it mechanical, right?
Yes,
It's like,
yes.
okay, hey, it's Tuesday night. Come on. And then, let's have sex. And then I got to prop myself up for the next 30 minutes. So the gravity pulls it into the ovaries. It was like a whole process, right?
That was horrible.
So it does make it mechanical. What's a good answer to how not to keep it there?
Well, I mean, it's just saying how to keep their relationship strong. You know what I mean? Like, I think the key is like anytime you go through anything difficult is like pressing into each other instead of turning away. Like, it'd be easy. I think that was almost a good time for us because we were both struggling with the same thing. It was difficult, but like we were both going through it together. It was way worse for me, if we're being honest. But
yeah, I think that's always the harder thing. I think a lot of that stuff with miscarriages and stuff, that the husband doesn't feel it the same. I don't even think
Right.
the husbands feel parenting like wives do.
They do not at all.
Okay, well, how do you feel about that?
No, I just think about like every time we go on vacation, it's like you forget we even have
out
kids.
of sight, out of mind. I'm like, what? She's like, I sure hope the kids are having fun. I'm like, who cares, man? They're safe. They're with one of our parents. Like, it's just the two of us, so it's easy to just ignore and forget that. But I would agree with you. I think I would just say talk about it as much as you can. Just be honest with feelings. I think it's hard sometimes for the husband because they kind of like, I don't know how to be. Like, I can't help my wife. I can't fix it. So I don't want to bring up something that's going to make her more sad. So I think just having regular conversations. One, you are united in this fight together.
Right.
But I think trying to have as many open and honest conversations and give each other grace. If you're feeling it in different ways, don't get mad. Like, don't get mad at me because I don't feel it like you do and I don't seem sad like you
Right.
are. I'm processing in my own way. At the same time, how do I give you grace that, like, I don't think it's the end of the world, or whatever. See, that's what I'm saying, guys.
Why are you
looking at me like that?
It felt like it's the end
Husbands
of the world.
and wives are. I know, but it may not feel like that for the husband.
Maybe
so,
some husbands are just more emotional than you.
Maybe.
I'm not emotional though,
Maybe,
so
yeah.
I don't know.
So I just, at the end of the day, you feel things differently. So give each other a little grace if the other person's not feeling it quite as much as you think they should, or they're feeling it more than you think they should, and have those conversations. But that's difficult. And then get some people around you who have been through it too.
That's what I was going to say. The number one. I mean, that was, I think, would be huge. Like, we didn't have anyone.
No, but
like, we
as
were
soon
young,
as
so
we
none
went
of our
through it,
friends.
and like everybody
everyone.
and their mom comes out of
Yeah.
the woodwork. This is the same thing. So
Yeah.
there's just something when someone can look you in the eye and go, I know what that feels like. That is more connecting than I've read a million books and let me tell you the right thing to say and let me give you the scripture that says, all things work together for the good. It's like, I don't need that. I know how this feels and it sucks.
Right. I agree.
That's a hard question. Man, these questions sometimes
It is good, though.
are difficult.
It's
yeah.
good. Okay. I like to go out, but my spouse likes to stay home. How do we compromise?
Oh, well, that's us. How do we do it?
He goes out and I stay home.
Boom, done.
No, I mean we stay at home sometimes and we go out. Like we do both. And then if you're like really wanting to go, I'm like, go with your friends. Like I don't care. I'm totally good. If you're having fun, I'm happy. So it doesn't have to be with me.
Yeah.
I mean, not girlfriends, but
Yeah, no, that's a whole nother video. We already did that. Friends of the opposite sex.
Yeah.
I agree. I think that this is just one of the many areas where you're different, where you got to compromise. So it would not be fair for Jill to say, well, I don't like to go out, so stay home with me all the time. It would not be fair for me to say, I like to go out, so you need to come with me every time. But we find times where I've noticed you doing it more lately because I like to just like, let's just go eat dinner. I need to get out of the house. And you're fine with, no, why don't you just go get some and bring it home, right? Let's order in.
yeah, I mean, I don't mind going. It's more for me, like it's more about
get ready.
it's getting ready and it's about interacting with other people. Like it's, I'm like an introvert, so I'm totally content to not talk to other people.
Yeah,
and he wants to talk to everyone.
But I've noticed more lately, you're like, you want to go get something to eat. And I'm like, yeah,
he'll always say, yeah,
I'm
like go anywhere I want.
Yes, I do. But I think it's that balance. So let's say I want to go out 4 times a week. She wants to go out never.
It's not never.
No,
I'm not
just,
a total loser,
I'm
but
just
I am
giving
a
an
little bit of a
example.
loser.
So maybe we compromise at 2 times or something where I've moved a little, you've moved a little. But then I think you also have to give, for like me, I get energized by being around people. So if I just stayed home all the time, at some point I'm going to be miserable. And you notice that. You're like,
yeah,
I
don't really want you here,
You'd be like,
to be
do you
honest.
need to go somewhere?
Yeah.
I'm like, no. You're like, yeah, you do.
Yeah.
So for her to allow me to go hang out with friends, go watch a UFC fight, go out to dinner with some buddies, that's how you find the compromise of meeting in the middle a little bit and then letting other relationships fill that gap. Healthy relationships.
That's good, yeah.
Yeah.
Same sex,
healthy relationships. Because even same sex, if I went out with a bunch of single friends who like to go hang at the bar, that's not healthy for our marriage.
Happening.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, you can try it. See how that works for you.
There goes Friday night's plans.
Okay, so this is the last one.
Oh.
And I saved the best for last. How often should a married couple have sex?
2 to 3 times a week.
How can you put a number on it?
I don't know. You asked the question, so I just thought I'd give an answer. As often is they're both happy with the frequency, right? I mean, part of it
there's not an answer
there's not
for
a number
that. It
because
depends on
different
the
people
couple.
have different drives. You're in different seasons of life. You have, medical issues. There's a million different things that can be going on. I think you got to be talking about it. If one of you is unhappy with the frequency, have a conversation about it and try to meet in the middle. Would you agree?
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like I feel like most men 2 to 3 times a week wouldn't be sufficient.
Why?
Because men typically want it more than women. I'm not saying that they all do, but I think in general, he doesn't. But
so that could
Just
bring in a whole nother set of conversations, because I think you have the other problem, which is the reason a lot of men do is because they're looking at pornography, they're checking out women on Instagram all day, and so they're feeding this flesh monster, and then they're turning to their wife and going, well, you got to satisfy the hunger that I've fed. I think if we are living in a world where you're walking in purity, you're not looking at that stuff, I'm not sure that the natural, most of the books you read talk about 48 to 72 hours is a man's kind of general cycle of when. So that would be 3 days, twice a week or something like that. So I think it's hard to answer because you got a lot of people that are feeding themselves in an unhealthy way and then turning to spouse. And, so when you got spouses that are like, we need to have it twice a day, that's probably not a healthy drive. But there are some people like that, or we have to have it every day, or probably you've been feeding some monster that you're now trying to have your spouse satisfy for you. So that's why I said I think if we lived in a healthy world, probably 2 to 3 times a week is healthy. But I know some couples that are fine with once a week or once every, as long as there's the mutual
right.
agreement on it.
I think that's the big thing, just talking about it and making sure that you're on the same page and that you're both satisfied.
Yeah, because in 26 years of marriage, there's been ebbs and flows depending on season of life of who's more interested or more engaged or all that kind of stuff. So communication is the key.
Yeah, and like when you have little kids and when we were going through infertility, all that stuff, it just kind of like ruined it. So we had to come all the way back around to a whole different level.
And get the kids
Now
out
it's
of the
finally
house.
good.
Yeah, finally.
They're all, and we still have one in the house.
I
He
know.
forgets, that we have children, but we do still have one.
Those kids. Dang, yeah, they're still here.
Yeah, there's one left.
But we have a new season coming where nobody's going to be in the house, hopefully, at some point.
I can't wait.
That'll be awesome. We're excited about that. All right. Well, that's all we have for this week. If you have any questions, drop them in the comment section below or email jill@alteredmarriage.com. If you want a free guide to intimacy or want to check out any of our classes, courses, resources, you can look in the description area below. And we look forward to seeing you right here next time on Relation Shots.
You're so weird.
Bye-bye. Yeah.